Watch and burn.
Hey, what's... Oh, Jesus. Hey, everybody. So tonight, I'm going to be discussing the 1999 film Deep Blue Sea. Now, first off, I need to get this right out of the way. This movie's brain dead. Pretty much nothing about this movie makes sense, but I have watched this movie dozens of times over the years, so I do like it. So I am going to talk about it, even though it's going to sound like I don't like it because I don't have a lot of good things to say about it, because the movie's kind of dumb. And so what the story quickly is, there's this old sort of military base out in the ocean that this company is allowing these team of this company is financing for this team of scientists to conduct Alzheimer's research, using sharks, using shark brains that they have to catch, and then sort of do this little experiment on them and release them and everything else in hopes of finding a cure for Alzheimer's. And Samuel L. Jackson's in this, and I even kind of get the vibe that he phoned this one in. I mean, he's really good. LL Cool J's in it too. He's good, but I just kind of get the vibe that nobody really took this movie seriously. So Samuel L. Jackson is one of the executives that the company sends out to check their investment, see if everything's going well enough concerning the research with the scientists on this little ocean-based thing, which is absolutely amazing, by the way. If I could live there, I would live there forever. I would never leave. That place... It's like the type of thing you fantasize about when you're a little kid. That's what they have going on inside of this place. It's like a massive underwater structure that you could just spend 10 lifetimes in and never, ever want to leave. But yeah, I mean, it starts off with Samuel L. Jackson. He shows up and he makes this joke because he gets off a plane, because of course you have to fly in because it's like in the middle of the ocean. And he makes this joke to this chick who's like, she's played by Jacqueline McKenzie. She was born in 1967. This movie came out in 99. And so she would understand who this character was. Samuel L. Jackson makes a Fantasy Island tattoo joke. And the little guy from the old show Fantasy Island from back in the 80s. And he's like, oh, boss, we're deplane. And then, because that's what tattoo always said on the show. He's like, boss, deplane, which meant the new people were flying in for that week's episode of Fantasy Island where they were going to be granted all their wishes, blah, 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 but there was a big hefty price tag attached to each of them and whatever else. Doesn't matter. So she goes, huh? Like, she doesn't know what that is. And Samuel L. Jackson, as she walks away, he goes, I am getting old. But you're not. She's like, the character's roughly in her mid-30s. In 1999, I was like 19 in 1999, and I knew who this was. So if she's got at least 10 plus years on me, for her to be like, like, I don't know who that is. Like, you never seen a fucking TV before? It's Fantasy Island. She would have been roughly 15, 16 years old when that show was peaking. And Fantasy Island, for anybody that doesn't know, was a huge show for its time back in the 80s. So that's dumb. And then, oh yeah, the other brain dead thing is she shows Samuel L. Jackson the test sharks, and they're huge. Like, they're 30 feet. They're 30 feet by 10 feet, like 15 feet. Like, they're super wide, super long. But then when everything goes to hell and the sharks are hunting them inside of the facility, suddenly the sharks can fit down normal-sized hallways in this little military underwater thing where the scientists are. And the hallways really aren't that big. I mean, like I said, the girth, like the width of these sharks is absolutely colossal when you see their shadows in the water when she points it out to Samuel L. Jackson at the start. But then, like I said, they can just fit inside the human-fitting hallways of this test facility wherever they are in the middle of the ocean. So again, that's kind of dumb. The one thing that I did like, though, is after everything jumps off and the head guy gets his arm ripped off and they try to have him evac, the Coast Guard flies in, but the sharks jump up and grab his stretcher as it's being airlifted up into the chopper, and they pull the chopper into the control tower, which cuts off communication with the outside world. Janice, of course, the chick, I don't know her name, but she played Janice from The Sopranos. She's dead. And then you see, like, Samuel L. Jackson's, like, they have this giant viewing window that's got a clear shot of the ocean. And Samuel L. Jackson's like, can anybody tell me what the hell that is? And it was the shark bringing in the dude who was trying to be airlifted out in its mouth on the stretcher. And he's still alive because they got an oxygen tank on him, of course. and then the shark just throws him at the massive viewing window, which of course causes all these cracks to form, and then the place starts to flood when the window gives way, which I'm not really sure if that would happen or not. Like, it's the U.S. military, people. I'm sure when they built this place, they took everything into account. I don't think a fucking super shark throwing a person on a stretcher at this viewing window thing would crack it like that. But nevertheless, place starts to flood, blah, blah, blah. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really well done. And it's even the effects have aged fairly well, too. The other issue that I take with this movie is the two leads, the guy and the girl. They're not good looking enough. The chick isn't nearly hot enough, and the guy isn't nearly hot enough. They're just sort of like regular looking, and they're supposed to be the two like sort of star-crossed lovers, and they got this relationship kind of, and you can tell that they're attracted to each other, but I don't care because neither of them are very good looking. And that's another thing I found with this movie. It's like, if you're not going to make your leads incredibly attractive and compelling, what are you doing? The main guy is this shark hunter type. He's got a checkered past that they don't really go into because this movie's kind of dumb. And then the chick, she's been illegally modifying the sharks' brains, and that's why the sharks get so smart and they're able to so efficiently hunt them when they're inside of the facility that they can suddenly fit inside of. See, again, I do really like this movie. It's sounding like I don't. Well, I do hate the last like third of this movie. It just doesn't end. But I do really like, oh yeah, Michael Rappaport's in this too. I don't really like him anymore. But nevertheless, he's in this, and back then I did like him. But yeah, I do like this movie. I really do. What else did I want to say? Oh, yeah, that's right. When they realize that their test is working, and that the shark brains are creating a cure for Alzheimer's or whatever, they're all looking at the computer monitor, except Samuel L. Jackson is standing clearly behind the monitor, and he's getting all excited. He's like, whoa, that's amazing. And he's looking at the back of it the whole time. Now, I understand that, he's one of the leads and you got to have him in the shot, but why don't you take out one of the secondary characters, move them out of the way, and put Samuel L. Jackson in front of the monitor, much like I'm in front of you now, and then it can make a lot more sense when he points and goes, oh, look at that, that is amazing, we're curing Alzheimer's. He's standing behind the fucking thing. Again, this is kind of dumb. It's so obvious that he is, what in the fuck was that? Whatever. It's so obvious that he can't see anything. He's looking down at one point, like the monitor's here, and he's like, oh my God, we're curing Alzheimer's. Are you? Are you sure about that, Sam? Because I'm not sure about that, because you can't see anything. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I really like this movie, but it is really dumb. So, like always, if you like this review or you like this movie, don't forget to go out and do something nice for somebody. But most importantly, please don't forget that the world is such a better place, so much more of a better place, because you are in it. And no matter what it is you're going through, just don't let go, because it's going to get better. Have a good night, or day, or, fuck, I do this all the time. Whatever. Bye.